Hey everyone, I am back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I hope that you have had a wonderful week. For those of you who tune in every single Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here live on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live, welcome back. And for those of you who are brand new to Mental Health Moment, welcome. It's Dr. Hammond here with your Mental Health Moment. We are here live every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. And for those of you who are tuning in to the replay on Dr. Nikisha Hammond YouTube, welcome. Be sure to like this video, share, and subscribe. And thanks for those of you who are starting to join here. Let me know in the comments where you are tuning in from today. I'm excited to announce that I am live today, you all. So last week, many of you probably saw the recorded version of me because I was, anyways, on a layover trying to catch a flight, and I was going to be on a flight during Mental Health Moment, which means I cannot be live, obviously. And yeah, I can't be in two places at once. Yeah. So, so I'm happy to be back with you all live. I was actually almost on a flight right now again, but well, anyhow, my flight got moved to tomorrow. My schedule got moved a bit. So I am here live, which I'm excited about. I love being here live with you all. But let me know where you're tuning in from in the chat. I do reside in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. And yeah, I can actually see your comments. Sometimes the comments do what the comments want to do with technology and come in late, or I can't see them, unfortunately, but still let me know because sometimes they pop up later. But welcome from Boston. Welcome back. It's Dr. Hammond here for those of you just joining with your mental health moment. So for those of you who are new actually to mental health moment, I just realized that I've been doing mental health moment now for so long. I think this is 2016. What year would that be? I don't even know, 8 or 9 years, something like that. So it's been a while. It's been a while, you all. But I think because I've been doing it so long, sometimes for the new people coming in here, you may be like, what in the world is mental health moment? So I'm going to start letting you guys know what it's actually about for the new people in the crowd. I know for those of you who tune in every week, you obviously know what it's about. But essentially, for those of you who are new to Mental Health Moment, it's all about how do you work on becoming the best version of who you are so you can show up powerfully for yourself and for those around you. So each week, I'm going through different mental wellness strategies that you can apply in your life because, yeah, there's a lot happening in life, frankly, and there's always ways that we can improve, right? There's nothing wrong with personal development. There's always ways that we can improve. But welcome from Orlando. Thanks so much for joining here. Las Vegas is in the house. Welcome. So for those of you who know me from Mental Health Moment for all this time, know that I'm not a huge lover of snow by any means. And I have heard reports that it's currently snowing in Florida. Go figure. Where I live, because I'm like, okay, let me be away from that snow. But apparently it is snowing, not where I'm at in the Tampa Bay area, but very north Florida, which is crazy because it rarely snows here. But nonetheless, I see some of you tuning in from maybe warmer places. But on today's mental health moment, well, before I start, actually, because I promised you all, let me see if I can put in the comments here that I would make the announcement, and I promise to be better this year of telling you all where I'm speaking of the speaking places I speak at that are actually open to the public. I promise to be posting them. Welcome back from Virginia. Let me see if I can paste this in here. Okay, so and I think last week or so, I was telling you all about this virtual summit coming up. It is for women in leadership. It's the Women Who Lead Summit. So I'm super excited to be speaking at that summit. It's hosted by this amazing woman named Nina Perez. I was on her podcast last year when I was on my podcast tour, and she's so amazing. It was actually one of my favorite interviews. But nonetheless, so she is hosting the Women Who Lead Summit, which starts next Monday, January 27th, 2025. In case you're watching this video later on, I'm sorry. But January 27th, 2025 is when the summit starts. So, welcome from Chicago. Thanks for joining here. So, I'm going to put in the comment here because it's kind of a long link to register. The link, if you're interested in registering for that summit, it is completely free. It's the Women Who Lead Summit, so it is for women leaders, but you know, the registration is open and it's completely free for that event. What else do I need to tell you about that? It is so I'll be speaking on what I speak on a lot in Mental Health Moment, which is of course mental wellness and answering different questions about how you can work through being a better leader, how you can work on bettering yourself personally and professionally, which is extremely important, especially for women, because we tend to do a gazillion things all at once and have a lot of different demands of life that are being thrown at us. So nonetheless, I put it in the comments there. The link, if you want to register for that, like I said, is completely free, and it starts next Monday, January 27th. And I will be speaking. Um, I should have gotten the time for you. Sorry, y'all. Let me look really quick because I already forgot what time. My segment will be from 9 to 10 a.m. Central Time. Um, so yeah, that's 10 to 11 Eastern. So wherever you're at in the world, that's the time on January 27th. But still register because there's a lot of amazing speakers about mindset, about business, about entrepreneurship, about how to juggle everything going on in life, and just how to be better, right? And how to show up better and thrive as a leader. So I put it in there. There's also, so that's the virtual one. There's also an in-person event I'll be at in Clearwater, which is in April, but I will get you that information once we finalize everything with the coordinator. But I'll, like I said, keep putting it in the chat. And you can also always go to drnikishahammond.com because my team and I are going to work on making sure we update the website with all the information of the different places I'll be speaking. Well, the ones that I'm speaking at for the public, because there's a lot of private ones. So unfortunately, I can't invite you to some of those. Most of them are for different corporations and organizations. But when they are open to the public, then definitely I will let you all know on Mental Health Moment and update on Dr. Nikisha Hammond website and on social media. And hi from Los Angeles. Welcome, welcome. I hope all is well there. I know we talked about that actually last week on Mental Health Moment. Um, just trying to send some healing energy and prayers and thoughts for everything happening in LA with the fires. I mean, just really hard. It's just really hard to see that amount of loss, even though I'm not there personally, but to see it through social media and hearing different stories, it's been a lot. So I hope all is well with you in California joining in. Um, okay, so today's mental health moment, you all, is about resilience in the face of adversity. So, this is really it's man, it's there's so much happening. Yeah, prayers to you too. There's so much happening. Well, like I, just mentioned with it feels like between wildfires, which whether you're in the California area or a lot, it's just a lot to experience. I mean, obviously, if you're there and that amount of loss, and even watching certain things on social media or on the news, like it can be heavy and it's a lot to comprehend. And then right now, which actually may be affecting my flight tomorrow, but nonetheless, there's a winter storm going on right now. Like, so, I mean, there's just a lot to process. There's a lot of political changes for those of you who live in the US, as you know. Definitely not getting into politics right now, but that can bring up a source of stress for a lot of people as well. So there's a lot happening in the world, right? And that's just outside of us. And then there's our personal lives and everything that goes on. So I wanted to share today with you all just some tips to think about when it comes to your own resilience. It's actually a topic that I've been asked to speak on a lot lately is resilience in the workplace because there's a lot of changes happening. But I wanted to remind you all also first, before I, sort of get into some of these tips, that it is completely normal at times to feel overwhelmed. It is normal to feel just like there's a lot happening because there is oftentimes, again, in the world, in your personal life, maybe your professional life, or all the roles that you play. But though the good news is you can work on developing your resilience to those situations, right? Um, And resilience just means how are you adapting? Like, how are you bouncing back from that? It does take time. So I always say, I think I've said this like 3,000 times on Mental Health Moment, but I'll remind you again to give yourself grace, you all. Some of you right now are dealing with some difficult things, right? And I love the concept of resilience. I talk about it often in the work that I do, but I also want to add like a big asterisk to like bounce back and just everything's fine, to also say that you're allowed to feel the feelings you have. You're allowed to have grace for yourself. Texas in the house, welcome, welcome. You're allowed to have grace for yourself, but remember that you're working on it's almost like building a muscle, if you will. The same thing with your mindset, right? And building this place of how do you be more resilient and give yourself grace, right? It's an and conversation, not an or. So one of the things that's helpful is really thinking about how are you working on developing a growth mindset. And for those of you, well, a couple months ago, we went through my whole entire new book on mindset training, and actually now there's a part two and a whole journal and all the things. But a lot of it deals with growth mindset, because it takes some time to get to that mental point, but when you start to learn to look at your obstacles as lessons, as opportunities, as it's going to be okay, as I can get through this. When you start to look at adversity like that, it really changes your world, right? Dallas is in the house. Welcome, Houston, Texas. I saw it was not raining, snowing in Houston, Texas today, actually. Hi, welcome, which is also crazy because how many times is there snow in Houston? But I've been looking on social media, you all, with all this crazy weather going on. Um, but I do want you to keep that in mind again when it comes to your thoughts about adversity. Now, I'm pausing because I know that when you're in the dark hour, when you're in the dark seasons, when you're in the challenging times, you're like, what in the world are you talking about? How do I see some positivity out of this? But it's getting into a mindset of knowing this too shall pass. Like you getting into a mindset to understand that you can weather the storm. And when I say weather the storm, I mean mentally weather the storm. Hi, welcome, welcome. Thanks for those of you, by the way, who are still joining Mental Health Moment here. I see I see your comments here in the chat. I'm laughing because I think there's like a snowman in the chat from the person from Houston, Texas. You guys are out there in the snow. That's just wild to me. And the fact that it's snowing in Florida is just wild to me. But nonetheless, so yes, whether it's a physical storm you're in right now, or even if there's a mental storm going on in your mind, working on understanding this too shall pass. It does not rain forever. You can get through this. Like whether it be through mental affirmations, like saying those things in your mind, even if you don't believe it, training your mind, rewiring your mind, reminding yourself you can get through. That is one of the ways that you can work on trying to get through whatever adversity that you're experiencing right now. Right. And I will say, yeah, it's probably another book coming out at some point in the future. So I won't get into all the details, but 2024 for me personally was a ridiculously hard year in a lot of different ways. But one of the things, well, definitely my faith, praise the Lord. Definitely my faith got me through. And also my mindset, because I know through so personally, I know like through the storms, like it can't rain forever, right? Like it just doesn't. It will get better. And reminding you of that and saying that to yourself to get through whatever it is right now. If you're in a place of adversity, you might be in a place right now where you're like, Dr. Hammond, I'm doing great. I'm thriving. Life is great, because that happens too, right? But it's not, it's not always that way. It can't always be that way, just as how it can't always be happy and amazing and everything is perfect. Nothing's perfect, but everything's all amazing. It's also the opposite. So you have to remind yourself it's not always like every single day for the rest of your life you're going to be in this dark hour, right? you can get through and build that mindset that you can get through this. Because a lot of times, someone said, "Thank you so much. Um, I was needing to change my mindset before hitting the wall." Yeah, and a lot of here's the funny part, you all. A lot of times, yes, we have our difficulties, our trials, our tribulations, the adversity, it's there, and we're like, all these obstacles, what's going on? But a lot of times we ourselves, sometimes accidentally, get into a mental, like a rumination, like we're just thinking about it over and over and over again. And we are causing ourselves more stress, more mental stress. Not saying that that situation isn't difficult, but it also is about your mindset and how are you looking at it? What perspective are you putting into place, right? Like, it was funny, I was just on a podcast interview recently, and we started talking about gratitude and how, there's a lot of things it's very easy to get caught up in our problems, and we start to forget to count our blessings. And I mean, there's just so much to be grateful for. And again, it's a mindset shift to do this though. So again, I'm not saying this happens overnight, but it's something you can work on training your brain again to work on being in the place of gratitude, to work on understanding this too shall pass, whatever it is you need to tell yourself. And it doesn't matter what faith you have or don't have. It that shifting your mindset is for everybody. Okay, so getting into a place of understanding, I can get through this. I will get through this. I do deserve to be happy. I deserve to be emotionally healthy. I deserve to have joy. All those things, even in the midst of the obstacles and adversity. That's sort of the secret a little bit to life, because sometimes greetings from Houston. We got a lot of people from Houston tonight. Thanks so much for joining here. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment, because a lot of times we tend to think that when we're in a place of adversity, that it's like we almost trick ourselves and think we have to stay in this place of sadness. We have to stay in this place of anxiety. We have to stay in this place of feeling bad about whatever it is that we're going through. And it's like, well, yes, yes, you should have real feelings, but also during that time, you're allowed to have moments of joy too. Whatever it is that you're going through, you are allowed to have moments of joy. So I hope, of anything you remember from today's mental health moment, I really hope that you remember that. Like, that is a way that you work on building your resilience. That is a way you work on, even during the hardships, that you find those moments of joy, right? Um yeah, someone said, "I really need to quit responding to the negative attacks." And I'm not sure if you mean, like, from others around you, because that's a good point too sometimes. Someone said, "I really need to quit responding to negative attacks." Sometimes it's people around you that you need to, right, block out the negativity or the toxicity, or set some boundaries and those sorts of things. We talked about that on another mental health moment. Maybe it's coworkers or whomever it is. But sometimes it's our own attacks that we need to work on blocking out, like our own thoughts where we're telling ourselves so many things that are not true. you just because you think it doesn't make it true about you. You will lie to yourself. You will distort reality sometimes, especially when you're sad, especially when you're anxious, especially when you're going through some stuff, which we all go through our stuff. The things you're telling yourself, but the trick is also to recognize what you're saying to yourself, and that's a whole whole other mental health moment, and try to work on replacing your thoughts. I mean, there's a whole therapy on that. It's called cognitive behavioral therapy. Actually, for some of you, you might be familiar with it. You can do this with a therapist if you need to do it with a therapist. Sometimes self-help books or doing things at home, you can try that on your own. I mean, there's different ways to do that, to work on resetting your mind, but it's very possible to do that. Oh, someone said online. Oh, that's another place. That's a whole nother mental moment about things online and what's said online. But I want you to definitely remember that today. And then the last thing I want to leave you with, when it comes to really building up your resilience in this place of adversity, is to remember you do not have to do this thing called life. You don't have to do this alone. You don't have to always go through adversity alone. If you have a support system, whether it's your friend, your next door neighbor, your coworker, your brother, your sister, whoever, right? Mental health professional, a coach, a mentor, like there's a lot of good people in the world who want to help you through whatever challenges that you have. And again, it could be on the professional end, it could be friends, family, coworkers, neighbors, whomever, but make sure that you have a support system in place to work through getting through whatever it is, to work on building up your resilience, to work on someone positive in your life that's going to say, you know what? You can get through this. I got you. I got your back. Who's checking in with you? Right? Like those people. Make sure you have those people in your corner. Someone said, grateful to find this mental health moment. Thanks for the reminder to still have joy even in difficult situations. Yes. Giving some great advice. Yes, absolutely. And for those of you, I'm trying to wrap up here, but for those of you, I wanted to remind you, because I know we're adversity comes in many different forms. It just is like it's a part of life. It's going to come again in different forms. But um one of the hardest things I and I talked about it in my first mindset training book, but one of the hardest things I had to deal with in 2020 was losing my mentor, like extremely difficult grief. Still grieving now. It's been almost 5 years. But really, really difficult loss, and what I can tell you personally is that one of the well, definitely faith, Lord, faith definitely got me through that time, but another thing that really got me through was understanding that even though I was grieving really hard, that I still was able to find moments of joy through that time, right? Like I still would try to change my mindset to be like, okay, I am like just really down and it was emotionally very hard, but also I had the most amazing mentorship from this individual who was just an amazing human being in my life. So I got to learn from this person. This person was just outstanding. Like you know what I mean? Like thinking of positive memories, like just really switching my mindset. And also after many, many, many tears, also knowing, but I'm still gonna find the moments of joy. It is hard. It was extremely hard, but still I'm gonna find the moments of joy. But still I'm gonna find the moments of joy, right? And try to retrain your brain through that. And that's just one example. But it's just there's heavy things that are hard to deal with, and you can process them, and you can still have the sadness, and you can still have the joy. You can have both. Someone said, "How often do you have these meetings?" So we are mental health moment for those of you who are. Oh, thank you. For those of you who are new to Mental Health Moment or just tuning in, we are here live every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. Or you can watch a replay on Dr. Nikisha Hammond YouTube. And you're absolutely welcome. Thank you, Dr. Hammond. Traveling mercies and peace and blessings to all. Thank you so much. Yes, hopefully traveling mercies. Thank you very much. If my flight actually takes off tomorrow, because I don't know what's going on with this winter storm. So my my airline already was like, by the way, you might not be going anywhere tomorrow. I literally got that little email like, we're checking with meteorologists and we'll let you know if you are traveling anywhere tomorrow. Um, so nonetheless, but yeah, I want you I want you all to really remember that like I said, it's just it's so heavy right now. There's a lot happening and in the outside, right, our external world, and also maybe for you internally and where you're at mentally with all that's going on around you. So please remember that you are allowed to have those moments of joy, even in the face of adversity. And your resilience muscle, if you will, you can build that up over time. Maybe you're amazing. Maybe you're like, you know what, I'm I bounce back easily from things. Amazing. Or maybe you're like, no, I struggle with, getting through some difficult things. Either way, we're all at different places in our wellness journey. You can work on improving where you're at. That's why it's called personal development, right? And you work on improving like week after week. You just keep working on improving. If you need to reach out to someone, allow people to help you in your life. There are so many I know so many great people. Like, oh my god, I'm in like just different groups outstanding people that I've met over the years, and good people that just want to help you. Right? So they're there. Like, good people exist. Don't let the world fool you and thinking like everyone's horrible and bad. That's not true. There's really good people out there who can help you. Again, connect with people, do the self-care that we always talk about, mental health moment to get through, and also keep working on your resilience. Um Let me see the yeah, someone said Southern California, there was devastating wildfires, loss of life and property is a wake-up call. It's absolutely a miracle so many families survived. We must support those who lost everything. Absolutely. And absolutely. So how and I'm glad you brought that up. Again, a lot happening in the world. So however you can support, please do. Like, whether it's through donations, whether it's through your funds, whether it's through your prayers, whether it's through calling someone up and checking on them, like however you can, make sure, because that is just it's a lot. It's a lot, of course, to deal with, and the amount of loss is horrible to even see. Again, not even me personally, like being in the area, but seeing all that on social media, it's a lot. So make sure definitely checking in with people and helping however you can. But thank you for bringing that up for sure. Um, yeah, someone said I can relate. Grief can be hard. Thank you for this moment. Yes, it is. It's just hard. It's just hard, and it takes time. So again, as I'm telling you all tonight, I am practicing what I preach you all. When I say give yourself grace, that is definitely something I had to do, or still continue to do, because it's just hard. But you are also allowed to thrive in that process. Thanks. You're absolutely welcome. And for those of you who may be tuned in a little bit late, the announcement I gave, actually, I wonder if I can paste it again. The announcement I gave at the beginning, I'm just going to give it one more time, and hopefully I can paste this in here. I think I can. Okay. I will be speaking at the Women Who Lead Summit. It'll be starting next Monday, January 27th. It is virtual, so you guys can attend. I'm going to put it in the chat one more time, and hopefully it'll go through. Okay. Oh, I don't know. I don't know why it doesn't look like it went through LinkedIn. Okay. For some reason, I'm not sure if for those of you on LinkedIn, if you can see if you see that. But I did post it for those of you who are LinkedIn on my LinkedIn today on the link to register. But it's completely free. Again, it's Women Who Lead Summit. It's all about mindset, growing professionally, business, entrepreneurship, how to deal with life, right? How to balance it all. There's amazing speakers. So I'll be there speaking, of course, on the 27th, but also there's other outstanding, incredible women who are speaking. It's hosted by Nina Perez, who I just think she's so amazing. She's very energetic. She's amazing. I loved her. She interviewed me last year when I did my podcast tour. She's a podcast host as well, and she's so fun and so great. So anyhow, so she's hosting this summit, and I'll be there. So I put the link, like I said, in the chat, and I'm sorry, I don't think it went through. I don't know what's going on with technology, y'all. I don't think it went through to LinkedIn. I see it went through to Facebook and YouTube. So for the LinkedIn people, if you cannot see the link, then you can go to Dr. Nikisha Hammond, my LinkedIn, and it's right there on my post today. If you're interested in that. So, oh, that's good. Someone said my church in Inglewood, California helps so many people in need. God is good. That's lovely. I love to hear that. I love to hear that. That is so great. That's so great. And you know, okay, I really am wrapping up. I'm like way over time today, y'all. But I do want to say that it's a it's a bittersweet thing sometimes to see after natural disasters, like just how much communities like just come together, rally together, support, help one another. And I'm, of course, like grateful to see that. But I'm like, why can't we do that more often without the huge natural disaster or something horrific happening, right? Like it because we know there's goodness. Like I just want to remind you all, there's so much goodness in the world. There's so many good people doing good things. Yes, there's people doing stuff they're not supposed to be doing and horrible things too, but there's also really good people that are trying to help. So I love that you shared that your church is helping. Okay. So I really am wrapping up you all. So for those of you who are new, normally we're not on here for 30 minutes. Normally it's about 20 minutes or so because I know you all are busy and have things to do. But I wanted to make sure I read all your comments tonight, or wherever, maybe it's today, maybe it's morning, wherever you're at in the world. But again, thank you for joining Mental Health Moment. Just remember again that you can get through the times of adversity. You can. You can. Sometimes it's gonna feel like, you took one step, what is it? One step back or two steps forward and one step back, or I think I'm saying it backwards, but you know what I mean. Sometimes it feels like you're going backwards in your wellness journey, and that's completely normal to feel that way. But keep going, right? Just keep going. As I always say, keep going, keep growing. So I will be back live next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. You all be blessed. Have an amazing week, and I will see you all next week. So take care of yourselves. Bye, you guys.